Yeah.
Oh, good, good. I don't have to call in. All right, I'm going to call the meeting to order. Welcome to our November meeting for the Muncie Land Bank. I think everybody here on the screen knows each other. We don't need to do any introductions. I would entertain a motion to pass the consent agenda, which is our minutes and our financial report.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? All right. We have A and B under voting items. Nate, you're going to take over here, I think.
Yes, we have no bids to approve this month. And so the only thing that I have as far as the voting item is, and it's not something that seems that you would normally take to the board, but our box account, we have 3 users. That's the contract. So we pay $180 per user. We have just kind of, I think practice has been to add everybody on the board to the account, and anybody else who needs sometimes temporary use for different reasons. Anyways, I've gotten some emails from Box, and I've talked to some people there, and for every user over 3, we have to pay an additional $180. So if we just kept it where it is right now, we have 10 users. We're going to be paying $1,800 a year.
Nope.
So I was just going to basically eliminate all those different users, but talking to, I think it was John, the reason why we had every individual board member having their own user account was to be able to track if things get changed, we can see who changed it. So anyways, my suggestion is that we have a general kind of MLB user that anybody on the board can use. We have executive director account, and then we have a guest account for sometimes we have people from the outside that need to use. Go ahead, John.
Is there any information on our box that needs to be secure in terms of financial information or information that someone could someone could steal from the organization if they had access to that information? Because I'm wondering if we might want to make a treasurer account as opposed to the guest account, or like a general account and then a secure account, and sort of make sure that our folders with financial information, bank information, etc., are separate from the account that we let anyone either within the organization or outside the organization to access through.
John, it's really hard to, you're muffled again.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, if you're close like that, we can hear you.
Okay. So what I was saying is there information that we need to keep secure on our box account? That financial information, anything that someone could profit from, and then we wouldn't know who it was.
Yeah.
So I was suggesting that we make an account for maybe all the MLB board members and external users who might need to get in there, like our consultants, and then a separate account that is like the secure account that has access to our financial information.
That's a great observation. I think we need to think about how potentially how we have some information that's not accessible by some accounts. I think maybe we can think that through outside of this meeting. I think what needs to be approved, or at least I wanted to bring to the board, board's attention was that we're going to consolidate everybody into one account. And obviously we're not interested in paying that extra $1,260 so that everybody has a user account, but then we can afterwards kind of decide what are the 3 accounts and what do they have access to.
Would it be
We still,
worthwhile? Sorry.
I'm sorry?
Would it be worthwhile to also consider transitioning over to a different storage? I mean, I don't think that this particular one is the only one around, and
Yeah.
there might be something that's more cost effective and more user friendly for our group.
we still have a website, right?
Mhm.
What would you want to, an outsider want to obtain on our Box account that you can't get on the website?
Well, for example, we've been working with the Cuyahoga Land Bank, setting up the property profile system. And so it's been helpful for them to have access to a lot of our policies and kind of forms that we use. So there are cases like that. Farmhouse is helping with our social media. It's helpful for them to have access to certain bits of information related to graphics, messaging. I know what we can do though is we can share certain folders. We don't have to give somebody complete access. There are definitely ways we can try to be a little bit more. Yeah.
There's quite a bit of that
Thanks.
information you could provide on the website, right?
Yes. I mean, I think Box is just more for it facilitates working, kind of co-working on certain things when they arise. You know, when we have a new policy we're drafting, and I think answering or responding to Heather's question, I think that's something we can consider. I know that you know, a lot of organizations use Drive, and I think actually for nonprofits, you can sometimes get considerable discounts using Drive. I think that's something that we have some time to think about because we are going to pay for Box for the new contract has already started, but we have a cutoff here in the next week or so that if we don't reduce the number of users, we're going to incur an extra $1,260 of expense for Box, if that makes sense.
If you think it's necessary to make a vote, I would totally make a motion to reduce the number of users for our Box account.
Or for discussion, I would say explore like, you know, Google Drive. I mean,
Sure.
it's super easy to share files, restricted files with specific users. It's pretty cheap to pay for a lot of storage. But then, you know, to Jim's point, we could make sure that a lot of it's available on the website, minutes, things like that, but also have the, you know, that storage with contracts and, you know, things, committee minutes and stuff like that. I mean, that seems like a lot of money that we're paying. I agree with doing something differently.
I think can you all hear me a little bit better? Yeah, I got some new hardware here. I think that we have Box now because of historic reasons that are completely archaic and don't matter. So yeah, I think now is the time to look at other services. And I mean, I don't think that, I think we can just kind of, you know, authorize Nate to make whatever decision is best and then tell us how to get in there and access the information.
Yeah.
That, I mean, it's, I guess it's a security issue, so it's good to bring it to the attention of the board, and it's going to affect all of us because we're going to be trying to get into Box in a couple weeks and not exactly know what to do. But yeah,
Right.
I'm not sure that we need to vote on it. All right. Are we good? So I think we're through our voting items.
Yes.
All right. So item 5A, I am changing my professional role, and it's gonna add to the amount of time that I have to spend, doing work. And so I cannot serve as chair any longer. And it's actually kind of good timing because we're going in front of the city council this month for board appointments, and it's at the end of the annual year, so a new board chair can step in, at the beginning of the year and continue things or change things as they see fit. And so as a board, we need to discuss who is going to serve as chair. We had an executive committee meeting yesterday, and Brad King is willing to serve. He's also willing to not serve. I mean, he said that he wants to do what's best for the organization. He realizes that he brings certain talents, and I think we've all seen those talents over the last 5 years or however long you've been on the board. But he's really been here from the beginning and knows the work inside and out. But he also acknowledges that he brings certain liabilities. And we can, if anyone has any thoughts about those, we can discuss those further. It's also would be appropriate for anyone else on the board who wishes to serve as chair. You can, speak up. And if we have ideas about people who are not currently serving on the board that might make sense as a chair, we can talk about some reorganization in order to fit a new board member. With that,
Can I just ask really quickly, are we down any board members, or are we at a full board right now?
we're at a full board.
Okay, thank you.
And I think, I know I'm up, and is Brad up, and city
Jim.
council appointments.
Yeah.
So that's not going to be an issue, is it?
We don't think so, Marta. We're right after this meeting, actually, we're gonna communicate with Jeff Robinson about
Okay.
about those appointments, reappointments.
Okay,
And I think it'll be brought up in their
okay,
December meeting.
okay. All righty, so, well, if Brad gets reappointed, and if he's willing to do that, then fine.
But let me ask you, as much as you can say, John and Nate, you were mentioning to me yesterday, what are those, maybe liabilities is a harsh word to use, but what are those issues with Brad that he's concerned about? One or two of them.
Well, Brad has a big public profile in Muncie.
Okay.
People, I think, and this is what he expressed to me. And so I'm just trying to relate his concerns. He's concerned that people perceive him to be, in a certain camp, or that people perceive him, to have a role within the city that's pretty well defined. And I think that, so he's concerned about that kind of public profile that he has. And then, he has work relationships that would also, might complicate the work of the land bank. He works for the city, he works in community development. And, he has particular relationships with each of the people in that, and so, I really think that it's actually kind of inevitable is if we are going to move to a chair who is not, sort of outside of the working community of Muncie. I'm at the university. Anyone who we bring in as chair who, works closely with the city or in the city, they're going to bring certain liabilities and obviously certain assets. So those were the two concerns that Brad expressed to me, that he has a public profile and that he has, work relationships that are kind of set.
Thank you. My opinion, I don't see it as a deal breaker. If you're looking for somebody to make a motion I'll make that motion. For Brad to be the executive director,
Second.
The chair.
The chair.
the chair, excuse me,
Yeah.
the chair, I'm sorry.
Hey, you're out. Sorry.
Boom.
Well, if we're gonna do chair, I mean, usually at the beginning of
Yeah.
each year, you,
Right.
you deal with your officers.
So
Oh,
what we
good
could
point,
use-
Marta. Yeah,
What we could use right now actually is a motion to approve the same city council appointments. Because that's going to happen in the December meeting of the city council, and we want to have a motion, an approved motion for Marta, Jim, and Brad. And then in the December meeting, we'll have to formally nominate Brad to be chair if that's what we decide to do.
That would be an agenda item at the January meeting. And why do we need a motion to approve the city council things? Because we don't really have any say over that. I'm confused.
I think in the past, we've had sort of board action to let the city council know that the entire board supports the candidates that we're putting forward. So it's more an endorsement of the people
Okay.
that we're putting
Okay.
forward for
Okay,
the council to approve, because, you know,
okay.
Who made that motion? I'm sorry, I missed that.
I suggested that motion. I can't make a motion.
Jim, didn't you make that motion?
We had a motion on the floor for Brad for chair, but I think we're withdrawing that motion.
yeah,
Okay.
I'll withdraw that until the January meeting. So you're looking for a motion to create an endorsement for the 3 renewals from city council. Is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah,
Okay,
And I can do that if you want, since it's
Okay.
you and Marta. I make the motion that the board recommend that we continue to have Jim Lowe, Marta Moody, and Brad Keene as the city council representatives for the Muncie Land Bank.
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, nay? Any abstentions? All right,
I want to just say also that in January, we should probably approve the whole slate, the executive board,
right.
not just the president. So the rest of us
Exactly.
would get, yeah, revoted again.
So, yeah, we'll need to also then have a vice chair. Just put that on the table.
Yes.
So do we have to present a slate of officers with a certain amount of notification before voting on it? No? Okay.
it's not in our bylaws, and that's not in the state code. All right, I will wait to say nice things about how wonderful it's been to be chair for the last 5 years until January. I was planning on doing that today, but I will wait. Nate, do you want to talk to us a little bit about some of your ideas for reorganizing the committees on the board committees?
Yeah, we don't have to have an in-depth conversation, but I just wanted to let people know, we talked about it briefly yesterday. We had an executive committee meeting. I'd like to at least make a proposal for maybe some rearranging of the committees. I have some different ideas about how they can be organized a little bit more around the month-to-month work that we have. And in my mind, it's kind of separating, having working committees and advisory committees. But yeah, I'm gonna make a proposal and circulate that prior to our next board meeting. There are a couple things that I feel like Joe and I spend a lot of time doing, and it would be helpful to have a regular meeting to get input and also some potentially technical support. Maybe potentially a data committee, something focused on First Friday, a storytelling committee. These are some of the ideas, but again, I just wanted to let you know that I'm going to be circulating some kind of proposal between now and the next meeting, hopefully get some input and something that maybe we can vote on. I think if that's the right time frame, something that we would look at the end of the year and then approve going forward, starting the next year.
So Nate, I think in general, the president, or I'm sorry, the chair of a board can make whatever committees that person wants. So
Okay,
it's not necessarily a voting thing, but like in January, the new president could just say these, if it's what you've suggested, these committees are our new structure for 2023.
okay. And then how do we, and then like for nominating people to participate in a committee or assigning people, is that just,
Again, the president's job,
okay,
or sorry, chair.
Yeah,
Reaches
you start
out.
out by asking for volunteers, and then if
Yeah.
you don't get any, then you say, okay, you're on.
okay.
Yep.
I do think that at the December meeting, having Nate share some of his ideas might be good, so he can get some feedback from us if what he's thinking is appropriate.
Yeah, totally cool. I'm just saying it's not a voting item. It's just, yeah.
Thank you, Heather. Thank you. All right, so we're on through that, I think. Let's see, we're talking about the acquisition and disposition committee. Looks like Nate, you're gonna talk to us about the process for the disposition of properties with structures.
Yeah, again, just an update, just to let you know that we're continuing to push forward with the structures, that the properties that we have with structures. I don't know if you have the agenda open, but you can see the intended or the proposed end user that we've had a lot of conversations with different folks. We are in quiet title action is being carried out on all these. Of note, 20, and I think I've mentioned this at past board meetings, but 2308 and 2218 South Jefferson have got hung up legally. And I've been in conversation with Leslie Mathewson. She's been in contact with legal folks of the county. There's a possibility that two of the houses that we got originally in the resolution that passed in July of this past year that we're going to have to give back. But we're going to proceed with quiet title action on all the other houses that we have. Rather than wait and see if we ended up getting and then doing it all. So it's going to be a little bit more expensive because there's economies of scale when we have more houses. But yeah, we've been doing general assessments, we've been doing specifications, and getting things ready to launch on our website in December. I've had a lot of conversations with Annette about Pastone taking on a couple properties, which would be great if that comes to fruition. Yeah, so we're continuing to refine that process, and it'll be something that I think will be more able to be repeatable in the next round.
Good work figuring out that process. That's a difficult one. What is the why are they considering taking properties back? I mean, that seems kind of like antithetical to the whole point of this thing. Was it our mistake? Was it their mistake? What happened?
It sounds like the notification process wasn't fully complied with. Once making it public that a property is going to be taken from a prior owner.
Is that process undertaken by the county or by the tax sale company that they hire to do the work?
I'm pretty sure by the county.
Okay, thank you.
Is it possible that we could complete that process, or does the county have to complete? I guess the county has to complete
It's the
it.
county, and Leslie's been really active. Like, she hasn't been just waiting. She's been sending emails and recommending things to me. We just decided this week to let's just do the quiet title action on other ones, rather than wait and get behind on everything because of these two properties. I am going to go out and actually go with a local inspector and check out those two houses. Because again, the intention is, the assumption or the hope is that we are going to get those, and so we don't want to get behind. But I'm going to go out and do a general assessment this afternoon. In this
Thank you
freezing
for-
cold. Yeah.
Thank you for explaining that situation, and I look forward to seeing how it resolves. So onto the programs committee here.
I had a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Are we planning to do the demolition of 2007 South Biltmore, or is that someone else?
We are planning on doing that. We've had some conversation with Brad about that process. He's kind of walked us through that. And Joe is going to be initiating, probably trying to get some quotes for that. The one thing that we're going to try to do is, rather than just go out and demo it, we're going to try to have some community meetings with the folks around there, and see if we can't get the community to also commit to something. Because we took that property on because it was kind of a nice little area, and there was this one house that was just falling apart. And we acquired it with the intention to demo it. And so we've had some contact with some of the adjacent neighbors, and they're going to convene kind of a community meeting. We're going to present who we are, talk about the property, and see if we can make it a little bit more of a collective process rather than us just going out and demoing it. And assuming all the costs. Our intention is hopefully to get some of the local folks to chip in.
For money wise, or like?
Money wise, we'd like to. I mean, it may end up being maybe physical labor. I'm not sure. We're trying to make it a little bit more creative than just us acquiring and demoing. If that's what it ends up being, that's okay.
Just be careful of our insurance agreements. We can't have people on the property with sledgehammers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's new territory for us. I don't think we've ever facilitated the demolition of a home other than our partnership with that federal program a couple years ago, right?
BEP.
Okay, just thanks. I was just
Yeah.
curious.
Very good. Thank you for the question, Jason. Are we ready to move on to the next agenda item? All right. So any updates on the program committee that you want to make, Nate?
Just, again, we had our first Friday meeting. I think everybody's aware of what that is. Some of you have been able to participate. I appreciate that. Just trying to get folks from different sectors of Muncie, finance people, political people, development people, for-profit, nonprofit, in the same room and have conversations about abandoned property and housing development. We are tying in kind of these first Friday meetings now, and probably the next couple ones related to a big ask that we are hoping to make to the county in February, end of February, to acquire a bunch of new properties. And I wanted to propose to the programs committee that we meet prior to this next first Friday meeting. Because right now I'm putting the first Friday meetings into one of the programs. And I'm proposing that we meet prior to Thanksgiving if possible. Because again, I think it's just really helpful for me to have some other folks to be able to kind of converse with, thinking about planning that from month to month.
I'm fine with that. What time of the day, just so the board and the public knows, what time of day is the first Friday meeting?
Yeah, we're meeting at 12:30 PM. It's an hour and a half. Some kind of lunch is included. And we've met at the Marion Hunt Library the last 2 times. That's worked well and probably will continue there. Yeah, 12:30 PM, first Friday of each month, this coming Friday, that's December 2nd.
And do we have any kind of public calendar on our website where people can see these kinds of activities that we're doing?
No, I don't think so. I think that would be great. And we need to do a better job of announcing it on our social media.
Create an event on Facebook. Those are pretty simple. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like it's going to reach a whole ton of people, but if we all share it,
Mhm.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Is Farmhouse engaged yet, or are we still waiting on that?
I have a meeting with them next Tuesday to sign, finalize the contract. And we're gonna have like a first kickoff planning meeting.
So it
so
sounds like
hopefully-
that's gonna be a little minute there. Jason, would you be willing to create a Facebook event and share it to the board?
Yeah, can you just give me the details that you'd want in the about section of it, and I can get something up?
Yeah, I can do that, Jason.
Just send it to me via email.
Okay. So
Right.
yeah, the next item there. There's not a whole lot to update folks on because I didn't have a meeting that I thought I was gonna have prior to today. But we are, one of the ideas that we've been talking about is with the building commissioner to include in our ask in February to the county some properties that they're demoing that we would try to acquire and quickly move to adjacent owners. But there's some logistics to be worked out there. I would love to have something, but that requires some conversation about
With
money.
the commissioner?
Yeah, and so we're having that conversation.
All
We
right.
can move on.
Heather and Annette and I met for the fundraising committee, I think 2 days ago. But Nate, it looks like you're gonna report out on that.
I can, or I don't know, Heather, if you want to.
it's easier to take notes if I don't have to
Okay,
talk. at the
yeah.
same time.
And I didn't let you
Thank
know
you.
prior. Yeah, just. Yeah, we've been meeting. We've had 2 meetings now, back to back, month to month, as a fundraising development committee. Similar to the A&D committee, where we have a meeting set up, regular meeting, and I think that's going to be really helpful. We have started some conversations with some smaller foundations, mostly connected with banks. Have some really good leads. Heather and Annette have been really helpful. With that, we also are starting a bigger conversation with some larger funders. I don't want to get ahead of it, but again, it's promising, or we feel like it's promising. Potentially a big grant proposal in coordination with some other folks here in Muncie to IU Health. But so anyways, that would be something that would take a lot of groundwork. But that, yeah, just wanted to update folks that we are thinking about fundraising, thinking about next year, looking at what we have in our potential proposed budget for next year. Also talking about maybe doing a kind of annual fundraising event, something that I think we need to be a little bit more creative, and that's been encouraging us to think more creative about how we fundraise. So we might be creating actually a committee that would just be working on that, and drawing on your guys' experience with fundraising, fundraising events, campaigns, kind of things.
I had suggested cooking some chili, but I guess it's not fancy enough, so we're gonna go in a different direction, I think.
Throw in some beer and you got it.
You think so?
Yeah.
I
I
made
know
some
where you can
chili-
buy good beer. I think it's downtown. I know the person that owns it. Yeah. Good craft beer, right?
Yeah. All right, so we'll keep working on that. And I guess, are we ready to move to public outreach and marketing discussion?
Yeah. That's just an update. Again, that's their inbox, but this is a conversation that we had with as a committee, the Public Outreach Marketing Communications Committee, about obviously there's a huge need for some support with our social media, with our communications to the public, improving our public profile. And that's something that we started out by trying to get some support from maybe an intern from Ball State. That didn't pan out, and so we decided to outsource it to a couple different folks. And this is something that we've talked about. It's been kind of approved, or the eyes of the committee's been on this. And so we have 2 new independent contractors that we're going to be hiring to kind of between the 2 start to improve our social media and storytelling about what we're doing here in the community. And that's with Farmhouse Creative and then a lady named Victoria Callow, who's going to be helping with the storytelling part. Those contracts are in box if anyone wants to look at, or if anybody has any questions about that. But that's hopefully something that's going to really ramp up starting next week.
All right. That's very exciting. I look forward to having some of that ability to push more information out.
Nate, would it be possible and would it make sense? I mean, I think that most of us on the board are familiar with Farmhouse Creative because we have worked with them in the past.
Mhm.
But I would like to know who Victoria is.
Mhm.
If maybe she could come, even if just
Oh, yeah.
briefly, to a board meeting and introduce herself. That way we have that connection if we have an idea for a story, or if we just want to shoot some information to her, we've
Yes.
got that groundwork.
Yeah, I will definitely invite her to come. I think that's a great idea that she kind of introduce herself. I hope that in her contract, we've talked about having a monthly meeting with either the Public Outreach Marketing Communications Committee, that she's a part of that, or if we do create a new committee that's going to be focused on storytelling. But I want her to be interacting with the board from month to month, in addition to staff and Farmhouse. But I'll invite her to the next board meeting.
And all contracts are within our budgeted amount of money, actually below probably what we've budgeted for that specific cause, right, Nate?
Mhm. Yeah. And we're still working on an agreement with Orange Wave Media to do a couple, three different kinds of videos that will be useful in different ways. Again, within the budget that had been originally set.
That's
Um,
great news.
Yeah, moving on, the governance committee. Just for me, I wanted to understand what our process is for kind of closing out the year and then kicking off the new year. What does our annual meeting look like? when our annual, our new budget needs to be created, just what that looks like, what the expectation is. If-
Well, I think in past years, I was really, I think that we have to make appointments to committees. We have to do an annual financial report. But I don't know that we need to have a budget, an annual budget going forward. Can anyone help me with that?
I would say you need an annual budget that then would be developed in December and adopted in January. And that's what you operate under.
We just went
Excuse me.
through quite a bit of finance discussion whenever Annette transitioned to the treasurer. So I think that we're pretty well prepared to come up with an annual budget. And then the annual financial report, actually, I was intimidated by this the first year we did it. It turns out that because we do our monthly financial reporting, it's really just kind of putting all that to, summing all those monthly reports into one larger annual report.
Mhm.
So it's that side of it's not too difficult. And then we've also already discussed Nate's ideas about reorganizing the committees on the board. So maybe it is that, do we need to have more discussion about the budget for next year? Because the other two components are pretty straightforward. Do we need to have a meeting?
It seems like that would be great if what we need to do is meet in December and hash that out. And then we present that in January, it sounds like, to be approved,
Yep.
and then that we work from there.
I
Yep.
think that last time it was maybe the executive team that met together to work on the budget and I mean, I remember being there and I'm happy to do that again, Nate, if you set up a time in
Okay,
maybe early December. That way, if we need to do it in 2 meetings, like if we don't get it all done in the first meeting, we still have time in a second
Yeah.
meeting before the holidays to get that ready for our January meeting.
And I'm curious, for those who've been around since the day of the origin of this board, how did you establish the calendar year as your fiscal year? Is there some logic to it?
If I'm not mistaken, it's out of statute, but I know that it requires us to have an annual meeting. I'm not sure that it requires it to be on January 1st. But the state enabling legislation requires an annual meeting.
Just curious.
But, and
Thanks.
I'm guessing, and I don't know, Jim, but I'm guessing that using calendar year is probably tied to the fact that the city operates on a calendar year.
Okay.
And as does the county. And so that just sort of makes
It aligns with their
Yeah,
their
yeah,
their
everything
budgeting.
easier.
Okay,
yeah.
that makes sense. Thank you.
Can I ask also just really briefly, if we have all this data, like we have our annual financial report, I know that I helped put together the annual report that we, printed for last year. Are we going to have one of our contractors do that this year? Totally fine with that. I just need to be prepared to know if I'm doing it again.
Right. Like farmhouse, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
That
Yeah.
actually know how to use InDesign rather than me reteaching myself how to do it
yes,
every
I
time.
know.
We could ask them. I
Yeah.
think it's reasonable to ask.
Yeah,
See if they could do
that's a
that.
good idea. And we can
Awesome.
make it look pretty enough where we could put it on all of our coffee tables.
Yes, let's do that.
Nate, can we ask Farmhouse if they
Yeah,
can?
yeah.
We give them the content and they make a pretty annual report.
Yeah,
And I get annual reports from other nonprofits. I don't know if there's like a list of people we would want to send it to.
All of our funders.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure.
MRC.
Mhm.
Yeah,
The county,
funder and government partners, sure.
the commissioners, I guess.
Like and our, like Marta said, our partners, so like all the housing nonprofits that we work with, I'm sure they'd be happy to hear the work that we're doing.
And because the county treasurer has appointing authority for the land bank, probably the treasurer.
Yep.
Are we ready to move on from our discussion about the annual meeting, or are there further items that need to be hashed out? I don't think we have.
I would
Yes.
just offer this up, and I know with other nonprofits, or at least with some, for example, in January, our regular January board meeting, we would start with an annual meeting, and at that annual meeting, basically, you do officers, do appointments that are under the board's jurisdiction, and you can approve the budget, and then you're done, and then you open the regular meeting.
Okay,
I mean,
great.
that's
Yeah,
briefly,
that's helpful.
that's what.
Okay, yeah, when we get closer to that, Marta, I might follow up with, with some
Sure.
questions.
Sure.
But yeah, that's kind of what I was asking.
Okay.
Thank you.
And to be honest, I don't know that we've really done that in the past, but we need to do that.
All right. There's nothing under finance and insurance that I can see, unless,
Uh-huh.
Jason, is there anything you want to talk about?
Nope.
Okay. Moving on to governmental relations, item A, we've already discussed.
Yeah,
Item B, are we planning on attending the commissioners meeting on December 5th?
we've had a meeting as a committee, and we talked about when we would actually make an ask. We're talking about February. But I would like to go to a commissioners meeting and update them. I've been waiting, like I would really like, I need to start going to all those meetings, just like I do the MRC. And just being honest, I haven't gone because I haven't wanted to bring up this issue of those two properties that are in limbo legally. I didn't want to throw anybody under the bus, and I just thought, let's just wait till it works out. But I do feel like I need to go. And so I think we have done enough to show that we're making progress. And so anyways, it would be helpful for me to have a meeting with the Government Relations Committee to talk about that presenting December 5th. One question I have, Mart, I don't know if you know, I know that they have, comments from the public. If I can just show up, or should I be intentional about communicating that with the commissioners or Mr. Brook
Well,
to get on
if
the
you-
agenda?
If you have something specific, it does not hurt to forward that to Jenny Honeycutt, their commissioners
Okay,
admin person. And then it's like right on the agenda, and then you get up there and do it, and you don't wait until the end with comments from the public, which could be really scattered all over the place.
okay, great. But is it possible to, so I'm proposing that we meet the week of November 29th to December 2nd. I can send out an email. But just,
I'm up for that.
That committee,
Okay,
you're talking about that committee?
yes,
Yeah,
yes, Jason.
okay. And tell me again, you're wanting to go to the commissioners to do what?
Update them on what we have done with the properties that were awarded to us.
Okay, okay. Gotcha.
Just so we're not all of a sudden showing up with another ask.
Yeah,
But yeah, I like I said, I want to start doing that regularly.
yeah.
Um,
Ask Farmhouse Creative how long it will take them to give us a annual report,
Okay,
because that could sort of be the opening to the commissioners saying, we wanted to give you an update. Here's our annual report, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, that would be all good.
okay, great. It's a good idea.
I think that when we went before them last year or earlier this year, we talked about coming on a quarterly basis to report out. So I don't think we're like behind on reporting out. We never committed to coming every month. So
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. All right. Is there anything else that we wanted to do? Maybe we can save, yeah. It's privilege of the floor. All right.
Words of gratitude to you, John.
Yeah, brought my guitar. Hold on a second.
Yeah, Nate,
Sure.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Hey,
Yeah.
thank you for all your, thank you for all your leadership and, tireless efforts to lead us.
Oh my, yes.
John, we really appreciate it.
Yes.
Well, I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna
Yeah.
stay on the board and mess with you guys. Talk about cooking chili when everyone's trying to get to their next meeting.
So I'm curious, what chairship are you taking over in College of Architecture and Planning?
The urban planning department.
Urban planning, okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
And that was previously whom?
Scott Truex.
Scott,
Yeah.
okay, Truex.
Yeah.
Is he retiring?
He is. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Going on to bigger and better things.
Yeah, right.
Congrats on that, John. That's a big
Yeah,
Yeah,
congrats.
uh-huh.
move.
Yeah.
It's daunting. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of work to be done, and Scott's really opened up a lot of avenues, and now we kind of have to close the deal on a lot of things. So,
Yeah.
but I will just say that like being the chair of this board and working with each of you has been such a privilege for me. It has opened up a lot of very important things professionally and personally for me. And so, thank you all as well.
Yes.
Yeah, and I would like to have maybe the next meeting, if folks want to share anything else about, thank you, John. I think we
Okay.
could say a lot, but we'll wait. I'll wait
All right. Yeah.
by song that I'm writing.
Yeah.
If there's, yeah. All right. This is embarrassing. Okay. Moving on. Does anybody have a motion to adjourn?
Yes,
So
motion
moved.
to adjourn.
Okay. Thank you. Thank God. All right. Good evening.
Have a good
Happy-
weekend.
Marta,
Happy
Bye.
Thanksgiving to everybody.
What?
I said I'm putting Marta down as the second on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Annette made the motion.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
All right, see you all.
Bye.
I'll stick
Thank you
around for
all.
a second, Nate, if that's okay.
Yeah.